Everyone, this is your trainer from the Electronic Service Division of the Summit County Library. Today I'm going to talk about naming cells in Excel. I wanted to point out that each and every cell has a name. A name begins with the column letter followed by the row number. For example, in this picture, my active cell is cell number A4. So my name box is telling me I am in cell A4. So the name box is right above column A on the left side of the formula bar area. So that's where the name box is. So every cell has this generic name. Again, name begins with a column followed by the row that where the column and row intersects. So why do we name the cells? If they have already has generic name, why do we name those cells? A name is a meaningful shorthand that makes it easier to understand the purpose of a cell reference, each of which may be difficult to comprehend at first glance. What does it mean by that? Let's say I wanted to add up the total cost for the producers from line 4 through line 8. With the generic name, I will be able to still find out the results. So let's figure that out first. Let's say I wanted to use the summation function to find that out. So I'm going to select the cell where I want to find the results. I'm going to click on the auto sum. These are the cells that I don't want it. I wanted the cell number F4 through F8. So what do? I simply click on the F4 first, then hold down my left mouse button and drag and include all the way through F8, and I'm going to hit enter. I get the result, so I have no problem finding out the result without particular names of the cell. All I did is just point and click. But by looking at the formula, summation of F4 through F8 doesn't mean anything much to somebody who is going to overview this result. Had you named these something else, like meaningful name like produce, then some in the parenthesis produce might be more meaningful for that person. So let me undo that. I'm going to click on the undo button. First of all, let us name those cells first. Since I wanted to add up all of those 5 cells, I am going to select all of those 5 cells and I'm going to name them produce. So if you wanted to do names, there are a couple of different ways to do the naming, but I'm going to use the simplest way. So after I select the cell that I wanted to include in my formula, I am going to click on the name box. I want to call it produce. One thing I'm going to point out to you is when you name it, the name cannot have space in the middle. So if I wanted to call it produce cells, that would be 2 words. So I cannot do produce space cells. If I wanted to use produce cells, I have to use produce underscore and cells. But I want to use only 1 word, so I'm going to call it produce and I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going to click it away. Make sure whether you named it correctly or not. If you click the drop down arrow next to the name box, now you will see the word produce. If you click on that, it shows you the selective cell that you put in their name. Now I am going to use that name produce in my formula. So I'm going to select where I want to see the result, and I'm going to use a summation as well. Now, again, this is not what I wanted it, so I'm going to click inside of that parentheses. I'm going to use my backspace button to take away all of those. I named it produce, so I'm going to start typing in the word PRO, and you can tell anything that begins with the PRO is all lined up here, and the name you just gave is simply shown among the other functions. And you can tell this is the name you gave because there is a name tag attached to it. So I'm going to double click on that, and voila, all of those selective cells that I put in my produce name showed up here. I don't see F4 through F8, but I see the meaningful word produce in it. I'm going to hit enter. By doing so, I get the same results. Now, if somebody take a look at that cell and see the word produce, oh, some produce, it is more meaningful for that person to see this is the combination of all those cells from produce lines. Thank you for watching.